wait for 2-3 another minutes. I think we should start because everyone has the value of the time, right? Okay, so let me just tell you first. So in the yesterday's session, okay, let me just switch my camera. Okay, is it visible? Fine. Yes. Okay, basically in yesterday's session, we just learned the brief of the architecture of planning, like how to initiate thinking, what are the things to consider before going for a particular type of planning and all that. So today we are gonna gone through like we'll try to show you a role play. Okay, Orithro is there with me, so he will be the client in this role play, and I'll be the freelancer. You can say the architect or the interior designer or the structure engineer, whatever. Basically, I'll be dealing with him, and today I'll tell you how to what are the data to collect, and the things that I told you in the first class, like you have to collect this data, and so basically in today's session our motto will be that we'll be setting up a real client point of view. Okay, from a real client's point of view, we'll collect some data, and we'll also discuss with you guys, and we'll collectively frame a particular problem. You yourself will be putting some inputs from your side. For example, throughout the meeting, I and Orithro decide something that this should be the project that we will be dealing throughout this internship. And from your side also, you can suggest that, sir, you can add this thing to the problem statement. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Basically, all of us, all of the 20 people participating in this particular internship, every one of us will be contributing to this to build that particular problem statement, which we will be working on the rest of the 28 days. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Obviously, it will be a practical problem, scenario. So I'll I'll take you through the whole process, like how to handle with the client, how to handle the first client meeting, and how to get the data you need to collect to start you working on your own. So okay, Orithro, can you start?
So I'm the client, right?
Yeah. So let me just introduce Orithro as well. Orithro, he just graduated from KIIT University, and he will be dealing with the software parts in the latter stage of his internship. And also today he is our client. Okay, so let's get started.
Okay. So Devarshi, I had heard that you had opened a company and you are doing exterior and interior works as well. Yeah. So basically, I have a plot of around 30 to 60 feet, 30 into 60 feet. And basically the plot is near the Central Institute of Plastic Engineering in Bhubaneswar. So I just have a plot right there, and I want to make a residential building as well as just for the renting purposes. Like the ground floor would be for the renting purposes, and the above 2 floors will be for personal use. So should I break or should I continue?
Yeah, sure. Just a second. So I'm sorry for that. Okay, can you start over again, because I wasn't ready. Sorry for that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
yes, sir. My plot area is around 30 into 60 foot.
Okay, let me just correct one thing before we start this particular conversation. You just don't go to a client and start with my plot area is this and that. Obviously, you will be meeting up at a place, and you'll be starting over from the very basics and all that, and then we'll come to the particular topic. Okay. So we are not obviously including that part because we don't want to waste time. So just going to the main,
directly to the point.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Right. We can start.
So my basic requirements are that my building is a north-facing building. I mean, the entrance should be from the north, and as it is just beside the main road, so I want to use it in some commercial purpose also, like just a simpler way, maybe just getting some rent out of it. So I can use my basement for the renting purposes. And I have 2 floors. I'm just planning for a G+2 building. So it is as per my plan. You are the designer, so you should be giving me a brief idea about it later. So
Okay.
the above 2 floors, like there are in total 7 members in my family. Like
Okay.
this is not real, obviously. So there will be 2 families that they will be staying here, like one for 4 and another for 3.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So and the staircase should be in such a way that the privacy of each floor, of the residents of each floor, should not get affected. Okay,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
the 3 floors will be used by 3 different families, so they have got a privacy of their own.
But so you were talking about 2 families. Now, which one is the
Oh,
third
okay.
family?
Okay, so the above 2 floors, like the first and the second floor, will be of the owner, of course, and the ground floor that will be used for renting purposes.
Okay. Okay. Ground floor is for renting purposes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. That is
I
fine.
want a parking space for 2 cars, obviously for the 2 families, and maybe a open space in front of my house for some garden purposes and all.
Okay.
These are my basic requirements, and what I need the most is I want to get the maximum amount of sunlight to work during my daytime.
Okay.
And what else? The plot, as per
And
my the standards of my zone, we have to leave like 2 feet from the balcony, from the boundary wall. So that can be also be considered, I hope.
okay. Okay. That is like pretty much good information from your side, sir. And
Okay.
just interrupting this conversation, participants, just you might have already noticed that the client here already gave me so much of information because like he already set that up, mindset in his mind. But maybe when you are going to meet your client for the first time, he doesn't have this much of information. So you have to dig it up. You have to question him to get these informations. Like there could have been easily 7 to 8 questions to get this much of information. Orithro just straight away told me this because many clients are obviously prepared to talk to architect and all that. So Orithro is that kind of client who is already prepared to to talk to the the architect. But maybe there are clients who not prepared, or they don't know these technical things and all that, like what to do and all. So you should consider them, and you have to ask them the questions that I already mentioned. Okay, but again, I'm just asking this, sir. Like, can you tell me what is the plot area? What's the dimension of your plot?
The total plot area can be around 30 feet into 60 feet.
Okay,
Like
30.
the north part is and the point of entrance is about like 30 feet, and the width is 60 feet.
Okay. And sir, the north is on which side? The 60 feet side or the 30 feet side?
North is on the 30 feet side.
Okay, so this is okay, sir. And sir, is there any existing roads and all that?
Yeah, there is a road just in front of my plot. Like
That is in the north direction.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay, fine. And sir, can you show me your plot or like the location of the plot?
Okay, so it's gonna take some time. Just give
Or
me
you
a
can
few.
just tell me the location actually.
Location is Central Institute of Plastic Engineering. The plot just right opposite to it.
Okay.
In Bhubaneswar, it is near InfoCity.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. And so, like, for this, you are talking about 3 families. One you will rent, and 2 families that will be staying on the first and second floor of the building. And so, like, can you tell me that if you have any kind of planning in future, you want to extend this particular building or not? Like, if you are you thinking of, do you have any spaces left around the plot that you have given me?
I was not thinking of extending it. Like I want to make that shady old school design. I just had something in my mind, that old school design, shady one.
Okay.
So,
Okay, sir.
and also I want a common like two toilets in total, one for common and one attached.
Okay. Sure. Okay,
And
sir.
I
And
just have a specific requirement that
yes.
you being a creative person, so my dining space or my drawing space, the most accessible space of my room in any floor. So it should get the maximum daylight. Like
Okay.
it's oh, you got it.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. And like, sir, any other special kind of requirements you have in particular,
Still kind of requirements.
like
In,
like regarding the balconies and
okay.
porticos and all that? Like
Okay,
you are looking
like
for something like
a small balcony in the drawing space will be good, and I want some more balconies for my bedrooms as well. Like one, apart from one bedroom, I just want balconies with my other two bedrooms. You can leave any one of them.
okay. Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Let me just sum up all these things. I'll quickly get back to you with the
Yeah,
first
sure.
draft of the plan. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so now as far like for this particular setup, I didn't have paper to show you, so that's why I have written this on the screen like this scribbled way. But always carry a notebook or a notepad or something at least to write. It is better to carry a physical form of something, like not a tab or laptop and all that. Laptop obviously you will carry to show your work and all that, but always carry a pen and a paper, a proper diary or a notebook, and like note these all these informations and thing properly on the plot. And one more important thing that I asked, like forgot to ask Aritro, I should have also asked for the diagonals. Okay, because without the diagonals, you cannot properly, plot this in the AutoCAD. So you need to know the diagonals.
No,
And
actually I don't know, and it seemed like it is a perfect rectangle.
okay,
Like I'm
fine.
not that sure. You need to cross check it.
Yeah. Okay, fine. That's good. But like if the place is not perfectly rectangular, in that case you have to draw the diagonals. Okay, Pritika, what about the budget? Yeah, I didn't ask about the budget because we told you right, the budget thing and all that we'll be discussing again later. That's why I just took the like ended the session. Obviously, we'll discuss about the budget and come back to this again. Okay, so basically that is all. And now we'll quickly start doing like assembling all these things. I think you already have a pretty good idea about the client's requirements. The client is basically planning to build G+2 house with the ground floor dedicated to the renting purpose and two above floors on that, and the bedroom, balcony, and all those things will again like quickly combine. So if you want, we can note these things down, and again at the same time we'll be also incorporating some of your ideas to build a particular client requirement for the throughout the internship that will carry. Okay, so I need to erase all these things. This is okay. So I think till now you guys have pretty much good idea about what the client's requirement is exactly. So can you just add something to that? Like, would you like to add something else to that? The students, I'm asking the participants and the students. If you wish to add something else to this particular, problem statement, you can do that.
So, what about the roof? Maybe he wants like a terrace, flat terrace, which could be used as a.
Yeah, definitely.
maybe a sloping roof.
Okay, let me just like write this down. Okay. Okay. So first one, we have got a 30 feet by 60 feet plot. Okay. The building is G+2 building. I could have written in this way also. Okay. Then the plot is north facing. I'm writing this for sake of you all guys because you will be working on this. Plot is north faced. The 30 feet side. And this is completely rectangular. Fine. Then he has a special requirement for the privacy of the staircase. Not privacy of the staircase, but privacy of 3 floors. That means the client basically has a particular demand that whenever a person wants to go to the first floor or the second floor, the other floor members or the who are living, they shouldn't be disturbed. So your staircase should be oriented in that direction. You know, it happens many times in India because people generally, you know, own a place and rent the rest of the part of the building. So that's a quite important thing. So privacy of 3 floors. Then there is okay, he has a requirement of a parking area for 2 cars. Parking for 2 cars. Then balcony and maximum light living room. And anything else I'm missing? And yes, you are adding some points. Who was that, Pritika, or I don't know?
Yes, sir. What about the roof? Does he want a sloping roof or a flat roof, which could be used as a like?
Okay, open terrace or you know the
yeah, if you
you're
want
talking
a
you're talking about whether we should go for a open terrace or a closed terrace.
yes.
Okay. So what do you want? Like it depends on you guys already.
Let's take the open terrace.
See, if
If
the client is willing to extend his particular structure in the vertical direction in future, obviously you have to go for an open terrace for as per now. And if he doesn't will to do that, then we can easily go for a the sloped roof and all that. So that depends on the client. So like if you will to do it, you can do it.
So let's take the open terrace. Let's neglect the slopy roof ones.
Okay. Open terrace. And anything else there you want to mention? Anybody else? Like this will be the whole internship all about. This will be the thing that will be following throughout the internship. So whatever thing you want to include, just say it now. I'm asking to every participant. Then we'll be quickly moving to the next part.
Hello, sir. About the designing, he said that it should be old school.
Yeah, old school. So old school's themed design. Or while designing, you can do your style as well for your practice purpose and all that. Or we can do that also, that every every individual students go for a different set of designing. You can do that also. So all of us will be like getting a pretty good idea about different design styles. And anything else?
One thing I just had missed, that was I just want a new design of my staircase, that not just like the original normal one that is generally.
Okay. So you want basically a non-conventional staircase. Okay, that is that will be interesting. And anything else?
Unconventional in case of like design the staircase in a different manner, right?
Yeah. Like not the normal doglet and those rectangular box shape. The general staircase. Like he wants something else to be more creative and designed. The open staircases people like more because it, if you make your staircase in a closed box shaped room, it, it takes actually the same area, but it feels like it is more congested. If you like,
Congested area,
yeah,
It
if you just
seems,
include the
congested and,
staircase
like,
inside your drawing room in such a way that it also, adds some aesthetic to your drawing room, and also at the same time you are not leaving any separate space for staircase room. You might have already seen that in different movies and all that. Those bungalows have the, the staircases from the drawing room and all that. So it
yeah,
also,
basically
it,
box type staircase are more monotonous in, like,
yeah. Okay, so we can walk in this as well. Then anything else?
Sir, about the washrooms, he said about 2 washrooms.
Two
in each.
washroom. Okay. 2 washroom. And anything else? It's not about him only, but you can also add something else different. Or else we can, go with this. And also, yes, the location. A very important thing. This should be at the first, because that decides a lot of things. Location of the plot. Says Info City. Garden. Okay. Casorina wants a garden in front of her house. We'll see. Obviously, we will provide a parking space, so you can add some vegetations and all that. But obviously, the demand of the client is already, pretty much, for this much, like how much it is, 1800 square feet, right? 1800 square feet, and okay, 2 families. 2 families. Okay, I think this is enough from a client's point of view.
Sir, existing buildings in the surroundings.
Yeah, that we can see from the location actually. Okay, Apur's want a puja room. Good one. In our Indian, like, the clients, they always look for a puja room, separate puja room. So that's a good thing. Okay, so now coming to the part, I already asked Orito to find a suitable place where you can, see a. Okay, I'm just. Can you see my screen? You can see the Google Chrome.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, once you
Yes,
visit
sir.
once you visit your client and have a meeting with him, you can ask him directly that, sir, can you go to the particular site where it is gonna be built? So physically being present there is the best way to understand the project perfectly. But obviously that's not possible always, because maybe the client is calling from different location, so you cannot be physically present there. So for that we will use Google Earth. Okay, so Google Earth is nothing but a software. There is a software is also available in the name of Google Earth. You can download that as well, or you can just use it online. Okay, so just click on launch Google Earth, and then you'll be redirected to this page, and you can enter the site location directly in this interface. Okay, so for suppose you can enter any kind of location, like for example Kolkata. Okay, not Kolkata also, like very specific places. Okay, let me just search for Kolkata. It will just simply, this is very useful. Google Earth, everyone should use it. So this is the Kolkata. Okay, the map, you can see the satellite map, you can see the terrains and all that. You can plot your exact, the portion you want, like this. You can do a lot of things using this. I'm not going to teach you how to use Google Earth, because that is very easy. You can learn it by yourself by exploring this. But I'm just showing you how you can use this in your project. Okay. So for this particular place that Audit was talking about, I took the coordinates from him. So you can directly enter the place where you want to build the project, the location of the project, or you can just take the coordinates of that particular place. So how will you take the coordinates? Okay, because you don't use a compass and all that maybe. So what will you do? The client, you just tell the client that, sir, maybe I'll not be able to physically be present at the site. So whenever you visit the site yourself, can you just send me your WhatsApp location? So through WhatsApp, he can share you the coordinates of the particular place. That is possible. You can share the WhatsApp location and the coordinates will be showing there. So from there, you can take this particular coordinate, okay? And then if I enter, it will directly take me to the site. So this is the site. This is the site I was talking about. So this is basically nothing but this is Bhubaneswar. And there is a place called InfoCity. Those people, many of you are from Bhubaneswar already. So you know this place, you might be knowing this place. And this is in front of Central Institute of Plastics Engineering. So this is the place Audit was talking about. Okay, so why this is important? This is really important because from this only you can, just show you. So basically this is your plot. Okay, so this is basically the plot, and then Auditro actually told that the 30 feet site is on the north. Okay, so from this map you can easily see which one is your north direction. This is your north direction. Okay, and so your plot might be somewhere like this. You can also share the screenshot with your client and tell him that, sir, is this your exact location and all that. You can confirm it from that. So the plot will be somewhere like this. Okay, this maybe this will be the plot, or maybe somewhere like this. So basically you can see that there is a a major road, a street is there on the north direction, and the client has a particular plot which has a length of 60 feet, the width is 30 feet. Okay, so that is how you can get a pretty good idea about what the exact plot is and how it is gonna how it will look actually. And also one more important thing is that when you minimize this particular area, you can see that if this is the east direction, this is the west, this is the north, this is south. So you can see whether from which direction the sun will be coming more. So you will get a pretty good idea about. So if this is the entry, okay, so obviously this is road, so the entry will be from this side. Okay, either this side or this side. So you can understand if this is the entry, my parking will be somewhere else here, because obviously you will not waste your plot by providing some kind of lanes and parking at the back side. Maybe the client has a particular that kind of requirement. So in that case, you have to provide a passage if that is possible or not. So you can get a pretty much good idea about like this will be the thing. So it will help you to plot that particular area into AutoCAD. Okay, so like, are you able to understand why I'm telling you to use Google Earth for each and every project? And not only this, Google Earth has so many, so many advantages and all that. You can use Google Earth to represent your project as well. For suppose you have, completed the whole project, you have made the 3D modeling, interior, exterior design, everything. And then you take a screenshot of this particular, whatever I'm showing right now, and you put your particular model in that place. So the client will get a, realistic feeling how his house or his building, his office is gonna look in the real environment, in the real world. So that is where that will separate you from other architects or other interior designers or other engineers. Okay, so I'm just minimizing it. So basically these are our, so these are the client requirements. So if you wish to add anything else to this, you can add. So let's just do one thing. Let me know how many of you are comfortable with AutoCAD. Like you can basically start drafting. Let me just know. Or let me know who are the people who is not comfortable or not confident enough to start drafting some plans on AutoCAD. Because if you can figure out AutoCAD, I will not waste time on that. Or else I have to go with the basics of AutoCAD and tell you how to plot these things. That is why I'm asking. Because even if a single person is, wants to learn AutoCAD, obviously I will teach. Because that is already included in the course. But if every one of you is pretty much comfortable with AutoCAD, obviously I will be covering AutoCAD because there are certain things you don't know. Even if you are very much comfortable with AutoCAD, still there are things you need to know to represent all those, dimensions and all that. Because what happens, you may be knowing how to use AutoCAD, but you don't know how to, properly present a drawing into a A4 sheet, and you will be printing that. The person who will be seeing looking at the drawing, he should get the same feeling when he is looking at a A4 sheet, or when he is looking at a A3 sheet, or when he is looking at a A1 sheet. So there are different sheet sizes available in the market. You might already be knowing that. I'll also come to that later. So what happens, you draw something and show some dimensions and text, so it should be clearly visible. It's not like that you have drawn a plan, you have shown the dimension. Let's say, suppose your dimension, the text height is 600. Okay, that's your text height. So you have printed that particular drawing on a A4 sheet. It is clearly visible, good. But at the same time, you are again told to print that same thing in a A1 sheet. So when you will be printing that on a A1 sheet and your dimension will be same 600, maybe that's not visible because that will be so much smaller in that particular sheet. So you need to need to know that particular thing. Okay, Priyam Raj says that, sir, I want to learn AutoCAD. Obviously, Priyam, we'll cover that. But before directly going to AutoCAD, let's just first draft some hand-drawn sketch. That is more important, because obviously once you finalize your rough plan into your mind, it will be very much easier to draft it in AutoCAD. But when you are not prepared where to put the rooms, where to put all those things, then you'll feel so much confusion, and you get confused, completely confused. So that then it will become tough for you to directly start on AutoCAD. So what I will suggest that with this particular set of client requirement, let every one of you plot something, draw something in rough paper. Take a copy, a blank sheet, and start plotting. You know the dimensions, 30 feet by 60 feet, the 30 feet side, that is north side. I'll also can provide you a rough sketch, and start arranging the rooms, where you want to put the things, the balcony, where you want to put the washrooms and all that. I'll also provide you some Vastu guidelines. Okay, in Vastu will be detailedly explained by ma'am in tomorrow's session, but I'll provide you a Vastu chart with the directions and all that, so that you can use that for your practice purpose. Okay, but I want to see that how you people think actually, because it's not like only I will give you instructions and all that. Obviously, you also started something, and then we can compare all of your works, and then we can proceed with the best one amongst you. Will that be good? What do you think? Let's just come in the ideas, let's just put your ideas in the paper, where you want to put your balcony, where you want to put your bedroom, that thing, so we can get to know everyone's understanding. And not only that, we can also understand how much you are able to, put the things on the paper from your mind. So we'll also give suggestions and feedbacks on basis of your sketching. Okay, just randomly with no scale, no no proper scaling and all that. Just roughly with a pencil or a pen, just draw those particular thing in the paper. Okay, Krishna Pradhan is asking, sir, can we increase the text size with the command dim text if ISO sheet changes? Yes, there are a lot of things you can do. You can actually, you can set different seats, because in AutoCAD there is option. You can go for different layouts. You can set layouts for A4, layouts for A3, and different seat sizes. We can do a lot of things to adjust those particular dimensions and all that. But I'll teach you a simple trick. A formula that is completely like, I explored this because I always try to understand the thing in the hard way, and then come up with a very, I do hard work to understand something. But when I understand a particular thing, I always take out shortcut, kind of the smart work, you can say. I always prefer that, because for the repetitive work you need to do the smart work. So there is a small trick. I'll teach you that how to do all those things. Don't worry. I'll also start with AutoCAD after ma'am's session of tomorrow's session, and then we'll move to AutoCAD. But before that, I want to need to know that how you guys are thinking, and how you can incorporate this client ideas and these client requirements into your drawing. Okay, so is it like, can you guys do it? Just let me know.
Yes, sir.
You have one day, you can easily do that. Like, take out a pen and paper and start sketching. It doesn't have to be in scale, it doesn't have to be good looking and all that, but the most important thing is keep the client requirements and all those things in your mind. That is really important. Okay, so like, what else can we, there is still time left, I guess. Yeah, there is still 20 minutes left, so we can continue the, like, Aritro, can we do a budget session? The budget discussion that everyone was asking about. Aritro, are you there?
Yeah, I am there, but I cannot turn on the video. That's it.
Okay, that is fine. So okay, Aritro, let's continue the session, right?
Okay.
I want to ask something that
Yes.
all of us have to work on the same plot or the same desired thing for
Okay. I got your question. See that you can work. If you guys tell me that whether all of you want to do different because I'm stating, because this particular whole thing, the client requirements that we have set so far now, we can apply this for everyone, and we can see that what are the different ideas you all are having. Then if you wish that you want to go with your own plan, you can go for that. There is no problem. But we are thinking of proceeding with the same plan for all.
No, actually I'm asking that if I can adjust with adding some more
Yeah, definitely. Who am I to put restrictions to your creativity? Obviously you can add that. There is no question of asking that. Because see, this is nothing, no assignment or something like that, so that I'm not restricting you to anything. You can incorporate n number of client requirements. You just consider it and do it, no problem. Definitely, I'll encourage you to do that. Definitely go for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so can you just continue the budget session and all that, because we
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Mr. Aritro, So basically, whatever I see that you have a pretty, good requirements and all that. I can accommodate all these things. So basically, you have a area of
1800 square feet.
1800 square feet. Okay, so this is your area. Okay, fine. So like, how much budget are you expecting to? Okay, first let me clear one thing. You just want me to do the the room arrangements and the architectural planning or the interior designing as well.
Just that for now, I want some rough sketches or some designs, maybe for the exterior ones. And
Okay.
if that goes well, and if we negotiate on at some point, I hope we can go forward with the structural ones also.
Okay, so basically you want me to like plot your requirements, right? So you
Yeah.
want a plan basically. So you don't
I
want
want
the interior
a 2D
designing
plan
right now.
for the governmental purposes, for the clearance ones. If that fits to all my requirements, that's the main point.
Sorry.
And you can also proceed for exterior and interior ones, as all of my requirements have been stated earlier. So not basically for the structural ones, I just want you for the architectural purposes. And if that pleases me, architecture is a part of a creativity, so if that pleases me, I will obviously go for the structural one. That's for sure.
Okay, but still it is not clear to me. Like you want me to do the planning only or the interior designing only?
I want you to do the 2D planning, to be
Okay,
technical.
2D planning. Okay.
2D
That is
planning.
what I'm asking. Okay,
2D planning.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, sir. Okay,
And the
sir,
3D,
like,
3D ones also. Like
do you have any kind of like budget in your mind?
budget for the interior one, I have considered for like 20 to 35.
20 to 35,000.
No,
Then
for the entire building.
for the entire building, you want to
Yeah,
spend how much on interior?
on interior. So mm, if you
Like, sir,
maintain if you maintain the typical old school look, like for the interior and the exterior ones, that is gonna cost some money really. So like, how much? What's your estimation? Like, I want to hear from your side. What do you
okay.
think?
Okay, so just pause the conversation right here. So people, you can understand that at this place, the client doesn't have a like proper idea about what should be the charge of the architect. And this is what exactly happens in most of the cases. In 90% of the cases, because if you are dealing with people who is just a officer or a normal people, those who are willing to build something and all that, they doesn't know how architects charge. The architectural charging and pricing, all that, only the contractors maybe, or the builders, or the people who are into real estate business and all that, they know how basically the architecture people charges. So in that case, what happens when you are dealing with normal contractors, the builders, the engineers also, maybe sometimes they come to you for interior designing and all that. So they already know how an architect charge. So in that case, you cannot like throw a bigger amount to them. Okay, but here comes the trick. When you are dealing with a people who seems to be a pretty wealthy, or a person who is willing to spend a good amount of money on interior designing and all those, why should you just like restrict yourself by putting that price limit? You should always push your limits. You should always try to push your limits to get the maximum out of the client, provided that you'll also be like submitting him a good design and all that. So in that case, okay, let's again resume that. So sir, I see that basically you don't have such a idea. Okay, no, don't tell like that. You don't have an idea. So look, basically you are not sure about the budget. Okay, let me help you with that. So for a similar project like this, there was a client in my from Bhubaneswar. I did this particular planning part only for around 12,000 rupees. That project costed this much. I pretty basically plotted the area and shown him where to place which room, what will be the different dimensions and all that, how he can place his the cars parkings and all that. So basically I submitted him a 2D layout of the plan, and that was also a G+3 building and with similar kind of requirements and all that. So the project estimated worth 12,000 somewhere like that. So are you willing to afford such kind of budget, or do you have something else in your mind?
Okay, the drafting seems 12,000. Like it can be 10,000. Like we can negotiate on that point. If I give you the chance for interior and exterior also, like you need to be flexible with that point. Like,
Okay.
do you get?
Okay, yes. Okay, I'm again pausing this conversation. So see, the client straight away after hearing the price tag of 12,000 is asking for a negotiation. Now, I'll ask you guys, what will be your answer at this point? Because you already have a pretty basic idea about how to deal with this. As I have told in the first class, if you have like got something out of that, what will be your reply? Guys, like anyone, Apurv, Arijit, anyone, Pratika.
As you have said that in previous class that I should tell him about the similar type of project that
Yeah, that I already told, and I have anchored a price of 12,000.
Yep.
So obviously, in my mind, I know that I'm gonna charge him less than 12,000, but he's straight away asking for a discount of 10,000. So what will be your reply at that instant? I'm asking that. So you'll just straight away agree, or would you like offer something else?
Actually, it will be better to offer him something else with showing some more design or showing some more component in his
Exactly.
Option, so that he can compare that whether his 10,000 rupees negotiation is good or adding some more component will be good, and whether we are going to add it or not, we can fix it up to 12,000 or somehow less than that. We can get our money from that.
Okay. That one is good from you, Sayan. Basically, what my point was that whenever you are quoting a price, okay, if you are telling 12,000, that doesn't obviously mean that you are going to come down to 2,000 and something. Like. Obviously, you will lie somewhere near to 12,000. Okay, so the point is whenever a client is asking for a negotiation, okay. For example, in my mind for this particular scenario right now, I already estimated that I should charge near about 9 to 10,000. Okay, for this just a drafting purpose of all this. Okay, I'll charge from near about 9 to 10,000 in between that, not less than that. So the client is straight away asking for 10,000. So I can directly agree with that. Obviously, that meets my expectation. But no, if someone is trying to negotiate with you and you directly at the first point agree with them, what happens? They will think that, okay, I just framed a price of 10,000 rupees and just he easily just agreed with me. So maybe I could have thrown him a lower value as well. He might already have been like interested with that. So what you do, you try to show him that the price you first anchored also justifies your work. So at that time, what can you do? Like Sayan said, that you can show some of your work samples, maybe the similar project, or obviously the similar project I'm talking about, that is hypothetical. I have never done similar project like this. I was just trying to teach him a particular value. Okay, so you can show him some other works. Sir, see, like you can show him something like that. Sir, see, this is my previous work. Okay, the price I'm anchoring with that particular price, you will get this kind of layouts and all that. You'll be shown how to do this and that. And obviously, don't go very much deep into technical terms, because maybe the client is not at all interested in architecture theories and all that. But what you can show is that how you are gonna satisfy his requirements. Like you can show him that, sir, see how this parking place can be done. This can be your option and all that. So you can just uh, quickly take him through the whole process that you are gonna follow. Okay, just involve him to your particular project. So you will be asked also how to take decisions on where to position the room and all that. I'll be coming to you with 3 revisions. We'll have like x number of revisions, maybe 3 or 4. We'll have this many numbers of meetings. I'll first draft a rough plan and come back to you whether the room positionings as per my concern is suiting you or not, whether you want to consider vastu and all that. So there will be a different sets of revisions. So make him convinced that you are gonna work so much for him. Okay, and try to justify your first thrown price. So try to justify 12,000, and then if you are coming down to, okay sir, as you are still sticking to that particular value of 10,000, okay, let's do it for 10,000 for your wish, and I expect that we'll share a good working experience throughout the project and all that. And with pretty much 2-3 lines, you can stop that, close the deal there. So this is how it goes. So just like if someone is meeting your price, don't just show them eagerness to grab the, like, nobody is taking your money and running away. So don't, like, just calm down and justify your work, justify your hard work. Tell him that what are the things you are going to do for him, what he will get by paying you 12,000, and then easily agree with the price. Or if you want to go for like 11,000, you can also tell that. So because we are talking about 10,000 and 12,000 and all that, but when you'll be designing a shopping complex or maybe a office building, a commercial place, the charging will be in lakhs. So obviously 10% will also be 10,000. So that is not a small value. So you need to understand that. Okay, what I'm telling, maybe you are expecting a payment of 50,000 for the particular project, but maybe the client can also afford 60,000. So why wouldn't you go for 60,000? That is my point. Yes, Apurva, I think Apurva wants to say something.
Yes, sir. Sir, what if client asks that I will agree to pay you this amount of money when your planning is good enough to please me, if it pleases me.
I didn't get that. Can you repeat that question?
Sir, what if the client asks that अगर आप तब मैं आपको तभी पेमेंट दूंगा जब आप मतलब अगर मेरे को आपकी डिजाइन पसंद आती है तो ही, otherwise
okay, I
I'm
got
not
that.
willing you to pay.
I got that. This same thing also happened to me, but not becoming not after becoming a professional. When I was student, I used to do this freelancing works, and like I have been doing this since my second year of BTech. So it's already been 4-5 years. Okay, so at that time, if you are a student right now, okay, let me tell you one thing also. Whenever you are when this happens, generally client doesn't speak like this to a professional, but they do speak like this to a student, or maybe an intern, or a person who is not so much having experience and all that. So what can you do at that point? First of all, when you are meeting a client, don't tell him or her that I'm a student. Just tell him that I'm a freelance. I'm doing freelancing in this particular field. Okay. So that also adds some value, because whether you are a student or not, it doesn't have anything to do with your work. Okay. Your work comes from the experience and your understanding. But the clients have a tendency that, okay, he's a student, he's learning these things. But obviously you are not learning these things in your college. You are learning by applying this thing in the field. So don't always tell in front of them that you are a student. That is the first point. And even if you are a professional and someone is asking questions to you like that, you just straight away just tell him that, sir, to initiate a particular project, just take him through the path you are already walking. Okay, tell him that, sir, to start a project like this, first I need to understand your requirements. Then I go through 100 sets of different possibilities that can be, because your room can be placed in this direction, this direction, many places. And according to that, the positions of bathroom, the position of staircase, everything will be changed. So there are n number of possibilities that can be, right? So if you are assigning some tasks to me, obviously it will take me few days to come up with the best suitable option for you. And I'm not like gonna pitch you with an idea. Obviously I'm gonna take you through the complete process so that you can take the decisions whether to place it here or not. So you will get a best result, what is best suitable for you. So sir, you can understand how much hard work is needed for this particular job. And even if I draw it by hand, it also takes the level of understanding of 2 years or 3 years that I have already learned in my college, okay, or learned in the past. So just tell him that, sir, to come up with the best solution to you with a single piece of paper, I have been working on 2 or 3 years in the past. So if you are getting a piece of paper in your hand with a rough plot or a rough sketch drawn on it, you see that particular sheet only, but I see 2-3 years hard work behind that. So that is the dedication and that is the effort it takes to just to make a rough plan. So sir, do you think it is like you are justifying by not paying whether you are liking or not? I guarantee you will like it, and even if you don't like it, just tell me your exact needs. I'll definitely like take you through some revisions and all that. So just make the client understand that you are technically sound and confident enough to handle this project. Once the client understands that the architect standing in front of him is confident enough to deal with his problems and he can come up with different solutions, obviously he will believe in you. And still he doesn't will to pay you, that still he sticks to his point that no, if I don't like the plan, I'm not going to pay you. Don't take the project, simply, because he's not going to pay you. Because even after this long conversation, what I have told you, even if he doesn't like agree with you to come to a point that you will do the best for him, don't just work for him. And in today's world, what I'll best suggest you, take some advance payment, like directly. But you can offer a very good thing. You can tell him that, sir, this particular project, okay, so this is a very good suggestion for the problem Apu just told right now. It hit my mind. So you tell him that, sir, I can break down this particular project into 4 stages. Okay, the first stage will be the decisive stage. Okay, where I'll plot a rough plan, draw a rough sketch and all that, and you are gonna pay some amount of 1/4 of the money or maybe 1/5 of the money, the whole estimate of the project for that particular phase 1 only. And after phase 1, if you feel like that I'm not capable of doing what you are willing for, then you can terminate the project at that point. Are you getting what I'm saying, Apu? Like if the project is worth of 10,000 rupees, you just tell him that, sir, I can break down this project into 4 parts. First one is the decisive part. Second one maybe the orientation and all that. Fourth one, like this, you can break it depending on the project. So for the first part, I'm gonna charge 2,000 rupees. Okay, for the rough plan and all that. So if you will to like if you will that you will not continue working with me, you can terminate the project after that. You will also not occur so much of losses and all that, and obviously it will be justification to my work. So that can be a good offer to him. So he is not risking all of his money, and at the same time you are not like you will be paid for the work you are doing, even for the rough plan. That can be a good justification to both. I think you got your answer.
Yes, sir.
And anyone else? Like anyone else have some question and all that? Hello.
So this negotiation will be continuing on the next class, right?
Yeah, I think the deal is obviously you quoted a price of 10,000. So in this way we can agree to 10,000, or if you can the job taker, I mean me, I can raise this. I can take this also 12,000 to get this job done. Okay, so it depends on the scenario, and obviously try to always push the limit. And one more important thing, like when I said that a similar project took me 12,000, maybe Orithro get shocked, like 12,000, okay, that's a huge amount of money. I was not willing to spend that much of money. I was expecting it to be somewhere around 3,000 or 4,000. That can be also a reply from the client side. So at that time, what will you do? At that time, what can you do? You can again just always try to show the value of your work. You can tell him all the things that I have said till far, and also at some points like, sir, you are gonna build this house which is gonna cost you 30 to 40 lakhs and all that. So are you gonna take a risk to not spend 5 or 6,000 more at this point? So tell them that, sir, my architectural planning, my interior designing and all those stuffs, sir, you can consider this as an insurance to your project. You are investing 30 to 40 lakhs behind your project, and you are getting an insurance done from my side. Because with my drawings and all those things, you can easily understand how it will look after it get completed, how the people inside it will feel, whether it is reflecting your style and all that, whether you are providing, as you have said that you want your you want a place to be rented. So whether it is satisfying all those point of views or not. So after that, you decide, sir, whether it is justifiable, the price is justifiable or not. So how do we quote a price, as in how do we understand the cost of the project? Yeah, that part I skipped now, right? So there are so many things on which basis you can quote the price. I actually skipped that part in the first class because we decided that we will discuss that in the last part of the internship. Still, I can tell there are so many ways to quote a price. Yeah, first of all, you can go for there are different pricing strategies. Okay, first of all, you can base you can do your pricing quantitatively. Quantitatively, that means you can charge on basis of hours you are working. But I will not suggest you to do that, because the client is not gonna come and see how much hour you are working behind that. Secondly, you can charge on the basis of the area. Most of 98% of the architects and interior designers and all that, they do that. Okay, on the basis of the the plot area and all that, they will fix some value and charge on the basis of that. I will also not suggest you to do that. Instead, that 98% of the people does that. You can get a rough value in your mind from that particular square feet basis, but I'll not suggest you to do that. And then third, depending on the importance of the project. That is how I charge. Okay. So for example, if it is a small shop, maybe a coffee shop, and I'm like providing him a interior designing service, obviously I'll understand the project very deeply. What is the importance of interior? What interior will play? How much role it will play in attracting its customers and all that. Obviously, it will play a huge role. Okay. Then again, if I'm doing a interior for a office, it will be different. I'm doing an interior for a home, it will be different. So for example, you just consider two examples. There is a 10,000 square feet villa, and there is a 10,000 square feet auditorium. I know that is a very small auditorium, 10,000 square feet, but still. So will you charge the same based on square feet price? Like I charge 30 rupees per square feet for interior design. If someone says that, will you charge same for a auditorium and for a villa? Obviously not, because it depends. Because it depends on the the style of the particular which kind of theme they will adopt. Because depending on the theme, also your furniture, colors and other elements of the building will change. So it will incur a lot of hard work to you. Because if it is minimalistic and very clean design the client want, it will be different. If they want some kind of bohemian style and that wild feeling and all that, you'll need to incorporate lot of elements you need to incorporate in your design. So that depends. So first, that's why I say that understand the client's exact need, how much your work is going to value them. Okay, what will be their benefit? Because understanding their benefit is very important. If you can somehow portray the idea that my work is gonna serve you a certain or meet a certain level of your demand, that means my work can serve you or can bring you lakhs and crores of rupees. For commercial places and all that, you can do this. For residential purpose, obviously you cannot do much, because you cannot say like that my design is gonna bring you income and all that. But for commercial places, you can say that if you're doing for interior designing for an office, okay, for an office, you can say him that your interior designing like creates a lot of impact in your clients, the people who is gonna visit your office, the people with whom will be doing daily meetings. It affects a lot. It affects your working environment, your employees' mindset, everything. So in that way, you can like create a value of your work. So that is what I always do. I charge on the basis of value. And value, different people has different value for different things. So in that case, you can like play with numbers. And if you restrict will to like do for only square feet basis charged, you can do that, but you will be like earning the same amount and your earning will be restricted at some point. You understand that? And not only that, but yes, at the same time, square feet based charge has also benefits, like in the cases of these residential houses and all that. Because in most of the residential projects, they have a similar kind of criteria. I want this much bedroom, this much staircase, this is how I want to get it oriented and all that. That's all. You cannot play much in case of residential projects and dwellings. So your your charging and your pricing get restricted in that particular portion in terms of architectural planning. But you can again increase the price when you are going for interior design. You can set different rates for different types of interior designing. I think you got your answer. And again, we'll come back to this after this internship ends. I mean, maybe on 28th or 29th day, we'll again do this pricing, because I already have slides on that. I'll again discuss that. Any more questions or like anything you want to ask?
Yeah, I had a few questions actually.
Yes.
So the project that we'll be working on, it says 2 families plus 1 rented family.
Yeah.
So how many bedrooms do each family require?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That also you can ask them. But here is a trick. He already hinted that. Like he already gave a hint that there are 2 families, total of 7 members. One family is having 3 members and one family is having 4 members. You can ask at that point to the in the client meeting that who are those 4 members. If the 4 members are like parents and 2 children, obviously you can get an idea that how much bedroom you need to do. Okay. Then if there is maybe a grandparent, a single parent, or maybe a dad, parents and a child, obviously you'll be needing at least 3 rooms, 2 rooms or 3 rooms at least. Okay. And also at the same time, as this is a 1800 square feet area, easily you can accommodate 3 VHK. 3 VHK you can easily accommodate in this area. So you can ask your client on the basis of that whether you want to go for 3 bedrooms. If the space is available, do it. Okay. Or you can ask him also that whether there is no need of extra bedroom, so we can go for 2 big king size bedroom and we can save the space to maximize the living area. You can ask that. And that's a good point. You should ask that.
So suppose like we go for a 2 BHK for the rented family and
Yes.
2 3 BHKs for the 2 families.
Yeah.
Okay, so now as you said that one of the family may have a grandparent of some sort.
Mhm.
So does that require implement of a lift in the residence? Because if it's a D+2 building, then grandparents mostly they have difficulty in using the stairs.
Yeah.
So do we have to provide a lift of some sort?
Yeah, you can ask it at that time. You can ask it, but in residential buildings generally they don't require lifts and all that. But still you can ask,
But
definitely.
generally the old elderlies they actually after a few years they'll start complaining that there's too many stairs and getting hard for us to climb up the stairs, and you should have reduced the stairs in some of some sort.
Okay, if
So
you are this much concerned, you can genuinely ask the client. You can genuinely ask the client, and one more also a good option is there. You can go for a ramp. If the space is available, you can go for a ramp. Ramp, you understand now?
yes.
Ramp. You can go for a ramp,
But
but
the site is
generally,
actually too small for a ramp.
yeah. So basically, ramps are provided in commercial places like hospitals, schools, and all that. Generally, ramp is not provided in residential place. You can ask them whether they want to go for a lift or not. You can ask that.
Also, of the 2 families,
Mhm.
is the client actually living in the building, or he's just constructing the building?
See, yeah, there is no client basically. So this is something I and Orithro
No,
came up with.
suppose
So
we have a
yeah.
thing
Mhm.
that from of the 2 families, mostly in such residences we have that the client the floor in which client lives, that's more sophisticated than the other floors, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Because more work has been put on that floor.
Yes.
While working on this residence, we have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, definitely. We'll come to that also because we haven't gone to the interior designing part. We are just, trying to accommodate the rooms and understand how Vastu will play its role. And we'll also focus on Vastu on tomorrow's class. Ma'am will be taking the session and tell you how to consider Vastu and how to incorporate those ideas. So basically, before that, if we have a rough sketch and so that we can show it to ma'am whether which one will be good, even like more than me, she can give you good advice on which is the best plan amongst all of you because she's having a lot of years of experience on this. So she will be also suggesting and giving feedbacks on your plan. So I think that will be good, like to show it to directly her.
Sure.
And yes,
Thank you.
the point you were talking about that whether to, yeah, the interior designing thing and all that, you can, yeah, definitely you can ask for that. And I'll say, I'll like note this, I'll like to note this point as well. Because if the client is, willing for, but at this case, in this our case, the client has given this work just to plot the client just gave us the job of plotting the area, just the 2D planning. So basically, we don't need to think much about the interior designing and as well, because we just in 2D planning, what do you show? You just show the dimensions of the room, positioning of the room, orientation, the door and the window spaces and all that, and the common elements, the facilities basically. And if you are like willing to show the interior parts of that, that is going to come under interior designing. So like, don't need to like more emphasize.
No, basically I meant ki even in a 2D plan.
Yeah, you
by
show the
walking
bed
in-
and chairs and all that.
No, not that.
Okay.
Even in a 2D plan, you can basically figure it out whether the architect has put in more work in this floor or in which floor, based on the placement of the bedrooms and stuff.
Okay.
I was actually
Okay,
referring to that.
if you okay. See, I think you are planning for something good. Just do one thing. Whatever you are trying to say, you like show that in your rough sketch. No need to plot anything. You just make 3 separate plans. The first floor, just go for a 2 BHK, simple 2 BHK for a rented family. And in the second floor, make it also simple. And the third floor, you are talking about the with all the decorated parts and all that. Let me share how you are like accommodating that idea. If you can do that, definitely. We can share it others as well.
Okay.
Definitely. And anyone else?
Yeah, actually, I want to ask that we have the area for, we have the solid area of 1800 square feet, means
Yes.
30 the width and
Yes. I can understand your question. See,
yeah.
that is the whole area.
Yeah,
You should,
but the construction area that
yes.
that we needed, means the space we have to leave before constructing the building, means we have considered the no man's land for the as per the regulation of the municipality of
Yes. So basically, what you will do, you just need to understand. I think in the PDF it's given already how much offset you need to provide. In the PDF that I sent group today morning. So just see there, and if it is not mentioned there, just let me know in the group, because you need to leave some spaces from your boundary, because this is your complete plot. You are owner of this particular 30 feet by 60 feet plot, and within this plot you need to leave some area, and then you are gonna build your house. Okay, maybe you need to leave more space in the front side. Okay, if this is your north side, then you need to leave more space in the front side, maybe 4 feet to 5 feet, because there is a minimum limit. You at least need to leave that much space, and obviously this is not so much spacious area, so you will not will to like leave the maximum portion. Obviously you will try to utilize the maximum portion and leave the minimum portion. And from the sides you can leave up to like 3 feet or maybe even 2 feet. It depends. So just cross check. If you are doing it for a Bhubaneswar location, you can see the BDA bylaws, that is Bhubaneswar Development Authority. If you are doing it for your Kolkata, you can also check the KMC, the Kolkata Municipal Corporation. They are different. So wherever, in which place you are like living, just go to Google and search the bylaws of your particular place, of your particular municipality or the corporation you are assigned. So understand that particular location have different shades of rules. And in general, if you ask, there is a NBC, National Building Code, and BIS, the Bureau of Indian Standard. They have different sets of guidelines, so you can fulfill that also. And these all Bhubaneswar bylaws, Kolkata bylaws, Delhi, everything, that is adapted from NBC and BIS only. They just modified it according to their local circumstances and all that. So it depends.
Okay, thank you. I will get that.
Yeah. So it will be better that if you like go and download your own place and own, the corporation you are under. That will be better because you will be ultimately dealing with the projects that will be taking over places in your locality. So it is better that you study your own place and as well as the National Building Code that is available all over India. And anything else? So I'll just share you the slides, the client requirements. Let's see how you can come up with a unique, and this also think about this particular special requirement from our client that we need to go for a conventional staircase. Okay, so this thing you can also try to accommodate, how you can accommodate the staircase. And also important thing is there, the privacy of the floor. Okay, so basically what the client want is that whenever a person who, whether he stays in the ground floor or the first floor or the third floor, whenever he is coming to the house or entering to the house, he shouldn't disturb the people living on the other floors. So basically the staircase will be a common staircase, and at the same time it will not be inside the living area or something like that, so that it can be accessible from the outside. So no one gets disturbed whenever someone is accessing the staircase. And let's see how no need to draw the staircase, just draw the plot and allocate the room where you want to allocate which thing. And let's see what are the options you come up with. So can we just end today's session, or anything else you want to ask? Hello.
I guess we can end it today.
Okay. So see you tomorrow. I think ma'am will be taking the tomorrow session. She will be commenting on your hand-drawn sketches and all that. And at the same time, she will be talking about Vastu. And after 1 or 2 sessions more, we can move back to AutoCAD and do the final drafting. So that's all for today. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good day.